So, how does one find inner peace? The short answer is you don't, because inner peace is bullshit. And if you'll allow me to pontificate, I will explain my perspective to you. Doubtless, this will upset some people, but I'm okay with that because if somebody hates you, you're probably doing something right. But here's the thing. First of all, the only people that I see searching for inner peace are people who are terrified of failure or who are looking for a way to justify their failure that they've already had. The people that don't want to take risks, they don't want to engage in the struggle that is life. Life is struggle, and checking out of that struggle means to me that you're not being alive. So don't be that guy who's looking for inner peace because, first of all, you probably won't find it, but moreover, you need to embrace the struggle in your life and look to accomplish great things. Second thing is the people that I meet, that I have met on my many journeys, who say that they have found inner peace. And it's always, by the way, it's always like these Westerners who are like pseudo into Buddhism that think that they found inner peace. But all the people that I've met who say they have found inner peace, I actually tend to have a great deal of contempt for as human beings. Because they have accomplished nothing meaningful. They have nothing lasting in their life. They're never married. They never have anything going on that is worthwhile to anyone outside themselves. And I think the inner peace, I think that's like a facade. I think that's a lie that they tell themselves to justify their refusal to continue the struggle. That they no longer want to take risks, and so they're okay with the way things are. And if you think about that person who's like, I'm at peace with the way the world is. It's like, why on earth would you want to be at peace with the way the world is? There's lots of crappy things in the world. Why can't we want to fix those things? What's wrong with wanting to fix those things? Like there's an ecclesiastical truth that's like there's nothing new under the sun, right? And you're never going to make nirvana, but that doesn't mean that you don't try to improve your life or help the people around you or accomplish things that have meaning to you or pursue passions, right? Those are things that to me make life worth living. So why would you want to do that? So like I said, I think it's this facade. I think it's a lie that people tell themselves that they have inner peace and therefore they don't have to try to do anything. And I've met a lot of musicians that are like, I just like to go home and play music for myself. I'm like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. Like, why would you not want to get out and show what you've worked so hard on for the masses and see what they think? And I think it's because they're afraid of people going like, you suck. Well, you know what? I've had plenty of people tell me I suck. I don't care because I've also had people tell me it's the best thing they've ever seen. So you just decide. What criticism is valid, what's not valid, and move on with your life. You have to have a little bit thicker skin. So don't be that guy who says he's found inner peace. And by the way, for those of you who are Christians and you're in a Christian denomination, and this is something that I certainly grew up a lot with, there's this idea of contentment that people will talk about, which I think is a total misrepresentation of some of the passages about contentment in the Bible. But there's this idea that, again, it's like inner peace, that like you're going to be content with the way things are. And you're not going to struggle. I'm like, why should you struggle? I remember having all these conversations. I'm like, you struggle because that's how you find meaning. That's like what you're here for. You're here to struggle. That's why there's so much strife in the world. You're not here to lay over and die. You're here to accomplish things meaningful to you and to your life, because you only leave life with your honor. You know, you only leave life with your honor in the things that you've done. So you have to embrace that struggle, in my opinion. So if you're in the Christian tradition, they won't call it inner peace; they'll call it contentment. And I think it's the same bullshit. I don't think it's something that you should consider really trying to have or to discover. The other thing is, you're never going to discover inner peace. You're never going to find it. It's not out there to be found. Like you go across the corner and you're like, there it is. There's inner peace. Oh, I'm so glad I found it. It's like, no, that's not the way it works. It's not even remotely close to how it works. You only have peace by creating peace, and you only create peace through war and struggle, right? The United States was not a nation that just like peacefully expanded into the United States. It was founded on violence, and it had violence throughout its entire history in order to grow to the size that it had. And that's reality. If you think about the Think about the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, as soon as it stopped expanding, as soon as it stopped becoming a greater thing than it was, it started to decline, collapse, and become decadent and full of like rottenness at its core, and that's what caused the Roman Empire to fall, among many other things. The collapse of the family and those sorts of things. As soon as it stopped trying to be great, as soon as it stopped trying to be a meaningful thing and started to collapse, then the collapse is inevitable. That's why I say always be growing. As without, so within. As above, so below. There's conflict in the heavens. There's conflict in you. And you need to embrace it and fight the good fight, right? So if you are not growing, if you are not struggling to become greater and become better than yourself, then you will be declining. You will be collapsing. A tree grows until it can't grow anymore, until it's grown beyond its capacity for growth. Then it starts to do what? It starts to die and fall down and decay and become the rubble that the next tree will grow out of. Okay, so as soon as you stop growing, that's when your decay will exist. And I look at the people who have lived to those ripe old ages. Like, I think of two really good examples, Andres Segovia and Milton Friedman. Both of them lived well into their 90s. And Andres Segovia in particular didn't necessarily live a particularly healthy lifestyle, but he lived to be, I think, 92. And he practiced right up until he was dying and was doing concerts. He had that struggle. He had that purpose. He had something to get up and work against, some limitations he had to work against, including his own age. And Milton Friedman was writing and giving speeches basically until very close to his death. He always had something to work for. If you look at also, he's not he's not my favorite guy when he talks about politics. But you look at Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking has lived far beyond the capacity of somebody who has ALS to actually live. And the reason that he gives is like, I'm always working. I'm always finding something to do. I'm always finding that thing to accomplish, and that keeps you alive. So if you're not growing, you are decaying. So always be growing. ABG, always be growing. And each time you accomplish something great, that's when you're going to experience peace or satisfaction. And I don't even think of peace. Peace is bullshit. Don't try to find peace. Try to find satisfaction. You don't have to die happy, but you have to at least die satisfied, in the words of Stephen King. So accomplish those big things, then you'll feel that satisfaction. But any peace that you have from that war, that's only temporary, because the next conflict is right around the corner. And if you don't have that next conflict, if you're not growing, then you're going to become decadent. You're going to become lazy. You're going to start to decay. You're going to become less intelligent. You're going to become less good at your craft, and then you're going to backslide. And that's when you're going to start looking for inner peace. It's like, and now that I have backslid away from my greatness, how do I cover that up? By feeling peaceful. Like, no, don't. Find the next thing to be great with. And I'm gonna bring this into context with Star Wars, because I love Star Wars. And Star Wars has these two sides. There's like a light side, dark side. There's the Jedi and the Sith. And the Jedi are kind of this dispassionate, warrior monks who have supposedly inner calm, inner peace. They're always, trying to be in touch with the Force, and they're trying to be tools of the Force. And then you have the Sith, which are trying to harness the Force for their own ends. They are passionate, they are angry, they are full of ambition. And which one do you want to be? Obviously, I'm probably more Sith than Jedi. But it's important to recognize the other side of that, the discipline, right? The being able to do things constantly, the routine. Because I think in order to harness your passion, you have to have routine and you have to have discipline. Because sooner or later, whenever you're trying to accomplish something big, you're going to come up against your own limitations, and your own psyche is going to say, give up, give up, give up, give up. You have to give up. You suck at this. Stop doing it. Find something else that you were never meant to do this. And what do you do with that? That's when your passion starts to fail. Your passion starts to become nebulous, and you don't know where to find it. You can't pull your inspiration out of the air. So I say, don't be a slave to inspiration. Create a good routine to help you be creative. That's when you have to look at that that discipline of the Jedi side and say, I'm going to continue to work on this goal, even if it's very difficult, even if I feel that I suck at it, even if I have negative feelings about it, even though it's hard, I'm going to continue working until it's finished. And even when it's finished, that's when you're finally going to have that satisfaction. And that's when you're finally going to be able to see where all of your flaws were in the process so that you can correct them for the next cycle. Okay. And for those of you who have inner problems, you have problems with yourself, you drink too much, or you smoke, or you don't like the way your body looks, or you don't like the amount of friends that you have, or you don't like the friends that you do have, that you don't, you feel like you struggle with depression or something like that. Those are all things that you should struggle against. You should seek to overcome those things. Do not let part of your identity become how you feel in a particular given moment, because that's temporary, right? Those feelings that you have of fear, of anxiety, of depression, of guilt, of anger, of sadness, those are temporary. What is lasting is what you do. You only leave this life with the things that you do, with the struggles that you've overcome, with your good deeds, and with your honor. Okay, so that is what you need to focus on. Do not let your feelings dictate your possibilities. Destroy those limitations and overcome the way you feel. Say, I feel this way and I'm going to do it anyway. I feel dispassionate. My passion has gone, but I'm going to accomplish this thing anyway. That's the way that you're going to have it. And I'm saying this not just to you, I'm saying it to myself, because it's really hard to keep working when you have a lot of chaos in your life. But I'm going to keep doing it. I've made this video, and I'm going to go write 1,000 words. I'm going to write 1,500 words before I allow myself to have a break and do anything else. I'm going to work against the fact that I'm not feeling super passionate today. I'm putting it into action, and I'm telling you it because I live this. This is the way I live my life every day. My life is about growing. And I want you to grow too. Grow with me. Grow with the channel. I want to see what you're doing creatively. I know lots of you have written books. I'm trying to read those. I'm trying to check them out. And I want to see what you guys come up with. And I want to see what you come up with in music. I want to see what you come up with in writing. I have things going on in my own mind for the next thing, right? I'm going to finish this book that I've been writing this summer. And then I'm thinking about, I said I wasn't ever going to go back to music, but I'm going back to the Sith thing. I'm going to make music work for me. I have some musical ideas, and I want to have them exist. So I have to decide what they're going to be. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me a comment based on what you think about that particular bit. Inner peace is bullshit. Don't try to find peace. Try to find satisfaction, and you find it through struggle. War is the key. You must be at war. That is how you are going to accomplish great things, and that's how you're going to feel great and satisfied and happy. I believe. That's what I believe, and that's what I've accomplished. My life is happiness. I have a great life. I'm not resting my laurels, though, right? I'm continuing to try to improve my family, my life, my well-being, the happiness of my family. I'm always growing. I'm always growing. That's the way it is, and you guys need to as well. Have a great one. All the links are below for all the stuff you might be interested in. My book, anything else. I'm always appreciative of any kind of things that you have to do with me. You guys have a great one.